All right, welcome back. This is still the POLITY. Before the break, I was with human rights activist and statesman Chief Patrick Eolo. I've been joined now in the studio. We've been joined now in the studio by a human rights lawyer, legal practitioner, barrister Iyenseke Samuel Jr. He joins us now to do some justice to the state of the nation and the current states of affairs and how we can move forward. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good to have you. Welcome.
It's good to be here.
All right. Before you came in, we were talking about Nigeria's progress so far, moving from 1960 all the way to the current day. And so now we're at the current day, speaking about issues currently prevailing or that are in the country right now. So let's start with the issue, like our last report there, on the NLC's strike. The NLC has announced that on the 3rd of October, they will be embarking on a strike, and also told their members to prepare for nationwide protests. What's your take on this?
Yes, first and foremost, I want to say, as I did have a conversation with engagement with the legal practitioner of NLC, TUC, Nigerians are disappointed in them. This is not, it's a continuous exercise in futility. You will not come today and say you want to go on strike. Nigerians will get prepared. And you come, after making everybody galvanize, student, artisans, the passive, the non-passive civil society, members of the trade union congress, members of the NLC, everybody is prepared, only for you people to disappoint us. You go to where you want to go, you go and meet the executive without adequate consultation, without meeting the very essence of why the strike action want to come up. You, whatever thing you people want to do, I don't want to make insinuating remarks on them. And at the end of the day, Nigerians are sold out. So we are tired of NLC. And I agree with the assertions of different persons that when it comes to governmental policies, by virtue of Section 24 of the Trade Union Congress Act, the NLC are only meant to challenge governmental policies towards workers' welfare. So, if that is it now, I think it's hard time the organization of student NAS, the civil society, which I proudly belong to, and everybody, we don't need the NLC again. I think it's hard time we start engaging the government directly on issues that affect the ordinary Nigerians, because we should not pretend about it. The NLC, I'm saying it categorically on the national TV, they are failed Nigerians. They are failed Nigerians. They are incapable to take our grievances and protest for the rights of Nigerians. They are incapable. They should not. They should just face that their office. They should not bother. We are not interested in their protest again. They are failed Nigerians.
Right. Well, I'd like to get to know at what point the NLC lost your faith or your hope in them. Let me quickly hear from Chief Patrick if he has the same or a different view. What's your take on the issue?
Well, I think I would agree more with Sam Iyenseke Jr. I have written a lot of articles about Ajero Joe, the current president of NLC. As a matter of fact, in my last article, I tagged him a toothless bulldog. That's why I tagged him, NLC, the toothless bulldog, you know. From the inception of Adams Oshomole, the NLC has been compromised, has been destroyed. You know that our former president had made a famous quote that these guys just wear khakis in the day and they wear white lace in the night. They go to the villa to go and collect Ghana must go. They're not for us. I mean, if you call yourself NLC and you know that your people that you represent are suffering, they're suffering, and you know that the government are asking them to take 8,000 naira as the palliatives, and these same people wanted to buy a bulletproof car with about 110 billion. I mean, the 70 plus 40, right? And the NLC come out and galvanize people as Sam Iyenseke Jr. have said, and everybody's prepared, everybody's excited. Now, we've been suffering. We're going to go out to protest until this wages is increased. And suddenly, they'll go and have their nightmare, they'll come back, oh, we postpone it. Who does that? If you want to protest until the demand the demand of your people is met, you remain in the streets. You don't come back. That is why you call it negotiation between the NSC supposedly and the government. Now let me give you an instance. Today you can even Google it. Joe Biden, President of America, pledged solidarity, carry a placard with those who had been protesting, asking for 40% increase, another incentive in America. And they finally got it. Because why? They did not call off the strike. They remain steadfast to ensure that they will get what they want. Because even in the Bible, the workers deserve their wages. So I think nobody should bother to even partake or participate with NSC because they are toothless bulldog without politics. As a matter of fact, I have approached the court that the word NSC should be expunged. They should dissolve them because they are robbing their people in pretentious or pretendness that they are representing the people. They are representing their pocket. There's nothing like NSC, and I will not be part of that. We've done so far more than I'm talking about CSO, yes, more than the NSC. When we did the protests of the police brutality, NSAS, we were protesting and representing the middle class people, the workers who were working in this country, because the police brutality wasn't just targeted to Yahoo boys alone. All right, it was also targeted to civil servants and other people who are going to work, who were being extorted by the police and all that. What did they do? They did nothing. They were not there. When somebody died, do they have what they call worker compensation? No. When somebody is fired, do they represent them in court? No. Do everybody have what they call unemployment benefit in Nigeria? No. So what is the essence of having what do you call, I don't even know their name. What do you call it?
NLC.
I don't know. I don't know their name.
So I'd like to get your thoughts Barrister Samuel can just suggested that perhaps there should be another sort of coalition who sort of represents the people.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that coalition is already there because you have the civil society, and it's proud to be one of them. And there are a lot of lawyers, doctors, and other people who are, who are also part of this civil society. I'm from civil society, we want to invite more people to our community of civil society, but when there are issues like this, we can come out there and organize a proper protest that will shake the government, like what we did in NSAS. It shook the government, and the government came out apologizing. We caught them with all their lies, because we have the IT students, we have a lot of intelligent people working with us, exchanging information together. The government was afraid for the first time of its citizens, because in any democratic society, in this society, the government should fear its people, not the opposite. We're not going to be afraid of our soldiers, of our police, of our DSS, of our governors. They are supposed to be afraid of us because they are our servants. But, on a reverse psychology, we become the slave, they become our master. God forbid.
All right, let me hear from Barrister Samuel. Based on that suggestion, what are the frameworks to prevent what we are currently seeing? Definitely, if you make enough noise and you get the attention of the government, the next possible thing is that you will be invited to the table. What happens when you are presented with quote-unquote sweet deals?
No, not. It's NLC. If NLC have been invited severally for sweet deals, they should not. The coloration of Nigerian problem. The ordinary people, this fuel subsidy, they don't have palliative to assuage whatever thing they are going through. Is so much. The most heated of this problem, this fuel subsidy and hardship, are even the workers themselves. And it's hard time they pass a vote of no confidence on the leadership of the NLC. It's just a mirage. It's a farce. It's a mirage. And the leadership led by that Mr. Jaro is so useless that it's of no significance at all.
Yes.
Every time he said there will be a protest, he will call the next day that he needs the government, he needs to give them time to rebuild and put their policies in shape. So what has changed? And even the government, I believe wherever the executive, wherever place they are sitting, they are even laughing at him. that he's playing the chess game. So it's hard time. I don't even see the need for workers even paying checkout duties, or is a hopeless organization, the NLC, I might just give
and they're the same.
But the face of the NLC, who seems to be their president, they are not carrying the wishes of the people. I agree with them totally by Section 24 of the Trade Union TUC that the extent they can go is to agitate for the welfare of workers. Beautiful. So, for now, this protest or whatsoever strike is needless. We don't need it. We'll find a legitimate way of engaging the government of the day and getting our demands.
From your thoughts, it seems as though you've sort of given up on the NLC.
The point is, I haven't told my grievances to their legal counsel. And people have also informed them too. So the thing about it is, if they want to go, the truth about they don't have the support of the people in the street to go for any hike.
So the question I want to ask now is there a way back to that?
There are options.
What can the NLC do to regain that?
There are options. The provisions of the Nigerian Constitution guarantees the right of peaceful assembly. It also guarantees the right of peaceful protest when it will not lead to anarchy and crime. So they should allow Nigerians, when Nigerians are convinced enough that this hardship has gone beyond enough is enough, and we cannot continue like this. Nigerians were back on the street, but we don't. NSC should not be. They will lead us to get what we want. I see them in all seriousness, though I don't have my proof, as a compromise organization. Because if they are not my word, as I'm telling you, this protest they say they want to back on, mark it very well. They will not go in any protest. They will not go any strike. They will go to the So why the hopelessness? Why do you keep tempting Nigerians? Why do you keep raising the blood pressure of Nigerians, thinking they will have a better life under when your whole organization is just a useless entity entirely, without taking our grievances anyway? We don't need them. It's a distraction. It's a distraction.
All right. Well, let's delve into other matters now. The NLC is actually speaking on issues of the state of the nation and the sufferings that people are going through at the moment. I believe a lot of this, as you were all aware, came after the announcement of the president on May 29th. Full subsidy is gone. Let's talk about the president now. Even though the the tribunal has, has judged in his favor, we still have some cases, or a particular case in particular, that is the one in the US, where the presidential candidate of the PDP is seeking for the official results or the official proof that President Tinubu was a student abroad. What do you make of that whole situation? Let me start with Ambassador. As a lawyer, what do you make of this case, trying to force the school to release the president's details, and the president seemingly not on board with that idea?
When I heard I've been following the thing sketchy. When I heard what is going on in the US court, I pray the Nigerian judiciary grow to that level. They should take a clue from what is happening, like their emergency trials. They will call parties to come and address the court on some fundamental point. I pray the Nigerian judiciary that is a sound, developed judiciary, where they don't care and they go to the root of every issue. They have what we have like what we call the Freedom of Information Act. As we have it, the Americans also have it under their own. The thing is about public officers is, when you put yourself in public office, you must be accountable. This whole thing is, you went to school, you didn't want to go to school. If genuinely you went to that school, if I were in the shoes, I would bring my certificate. What is the what is the connectivity? Why the rancor? Why the litigation? It's needless. If you say I didn't go to wherever university I didn't go, I come out the next day. Let's take a clue from Olamide Bankole, Speaker Bankole. Some years ago, I don't know whether you remember the experience. When they came up with allegation that he never went for NYC, the next morning he published his NYC certificate, and the devil was ashamed. It's very simple. There's no need, and people telling Abubakar Atiku to withdraw the litigation. I want to tell those people they are not serious. They are not being sincere to it. It's his right to go to court and find any case he wants to. If he feels there are abnormalities in the U.S. court, he wants to get some certain facts. I don't want to really comment, I don't want to prejudice the ongoing case in the U.S. and I don't want to dwell on the substance. I want to see the decision of the court. But however, too, we should also know that foreign judgments, they are not actually enforceable immediately in Nigeria. There's what called, as I have said to you before, there's what called the Foreign Judgment Reciprocity Act. That means if you get a foreign judgment, you have to subject it to our local jurisdiction, apply to the chief registrar, file a summons, file your papers to be recognized.
It's accepted, it took some time.
Yeah, yes, it's persuasive.
Yes.
It's a persuasive judgment.
Yeah.
So it's not something yet, I think it's a bit late in the day. But however, I encourage people who are like Atiku Abubakar, who are taking this matter solely to court. Let him continue. Let us see the end. It will enrich our jurisprudence.
All right, Chief Elano, what do you make of it?
Well, you know, it's very simple. I think I will toe the same line with him. This is not something that I have to drag on, right? If I tell you that I attend a certain school in Canada, and then somebody said I didn't attend that school, the burden is on me to tell the school, listen, I was a student in the school. Please give my transcript and publish it, right? And then what is really funny about this is that recently we saw our president, you know, very proud with some very wonderful speech, how well he was doing in school. Yeah. Also some publication that he was not even an A student, he was an A+ student. He got distinctions in all of his subjects. If you got distinction in all your subjects, and you are, that's, you know, that's brilliant. We're happy. That's the first time we are seeing a very brilliant president who surpassed the requirement, because the minimum requirement here, I don't know, if you don't have masters, you can't be director certain area, but if you have primary school even certificate, you can be a president. Or you can't work in grocery store, but you can be a president of Nigeria. But, you know, I don't know who made that law, but it's very funny. But I honestly think that the Chicago University has the right to President Tinubu privacy, right? And my lawyer also said there's what we call very similar, the Freedom of Information, right? Which is the FOI. That's what the FBI has as of today. It's a public record that you, Amadi, if you're in America, even non-citizen, can go out there and seek to have that public record, pay some little fee, they'll give it to you. So no matter what the lawyer is saying, that if the result is released, it's going to cause some damages. I don't understand. I mean, can you assist me and tell me what damages that a credible result for our own president, who have distinction in most of his subjects, right? As a matter of fact, he was even more brilliant than his own VC of that institution. What kind of damage would that probably cause our president or our nation? I think it's going to make us proud as a country. I think contrarily, if perhaps that the speculation that the name might be associated with a female's name or whatever, if that is their fear, that's going to really give us as a country a very big embarrassment.
All right, that last part, let's dwell on it a bit. We've been talking about the law and all of that, but what do you think the perception of this does from us as Nigerians seeing the situation play out? However it plays out, how do you think Nigerians should see it? And also, do you think it has any effect on how other countries see us? Oh,
definitely does, definitely, because this is where it's really bad for us, a country, because we've been seen as a country who reward crime. This is really a country where people are notorious when they bust a pipeline, when they steal money excessively. You reward them with chieftaincy title, and when the president is leaving, give them some, what they call it, give them some title for the presidency, right? But you know, as we speak today, President Biden's son is being indicted. There was a judgment against Donald Trump yesterday in New York, that when he was operating his real estate, right, he increased his property fraudulently, and they banned him in the state of New York now not to practice real estate again. As a matter of fact, they equally gave him a penalty of $250,000 to pay as a fine, and he's currently going through criminal charges as an American former president. Can that ever happen in Nigeria? So we have become a laughing stock. We need to change this. We need to regain back our credibility, because every Nigerians are not criminal. They are very good Nigerians. It's similar what happened to me in China, just to lie on it. I already wrote silly about this. When I went to China about a few weeks ago, I was out of cash. I asked my son to send me $13,000 from Canada. The money came with Western Union. I paid the fee. I went to the bank to collect my money with Nigerian passport. Do you know they cast an aspersion to all Nigerians that were all money launderer? And that will happen to you. I feel pain for you. No matter what I did, they refused to give me the money. Until I tell them, okay, I have other nationality. Oh, he said, well, if you're talking about Canadian, we'll hardly assist you. But don't give all this passport, because we don't recognize it. I'm forgetting that the same people, Chinese people who are labeling us as fraud, they come here, they mail our good, illegal, they do all kind of gambling without license, they do all kind of criminality here, and we don't call the whole Chinese people criminal. But I don't know what the foreign affairs minister will do about it, because I've already written to the Senate that the ambassador representing Chinese, and our ambassador must come to the Senate floor to come and tell us why they label every Nigerian as criminal. I think that is preposterous.
Well, that is interesting. You know, it's also sad, like you said, the power of the Nigerian passport. But again, this is, as you've pointed out, something that we expect the Minister Saga to work on. How we can deliver on that issue. But I guess still on President Tinubu now, let's talk about what he's been doing. You've both been here and you've spoken about his first days in office. It's been quite a while now, and I'd like to get your thoughts, if you have any new thoughts as regards how he began. Initially, I believe removal of fuel subsidy and unification of exchange rates was praised by all. But these days, some persons do no longer agree. I'd like to know if you still stand, or if you at all feel that he did well in the first place, especially now, days after. Dollar is about $1,000 to $1 these days. Fuel subsidy, we saw the reports recently that the federal government has sort of started repaying subsidy, but it's not subsidy as in the past. It's just to maintain it so that it doesn't go any higher. But for the lack of a better explanation, it seems as though we are paying again. So what do you make of these initial policies that were made few days or immediately came into office? Now we are over 100 days later. Do you still look at them in the same way?
No. I think the policy didn't help us at all. First of all, POLITY is something it's not illegal. POLITY is more like a subsidy, you know. POLITY can equally go to educational sectors, you know, to assist the students in the replacement of OSAB. I don't know, that's what we call it here, OSAB, you know, or grant, right? POLITY. Now, when he's going to disburse money for the state government, for instance, we're told that my state, Edo State, got 5 billion. Governor Obaseki from my state brought out the old buses that have been grounded by Oshomole and pocketed the 5 billion. Nobody got anything, because I didn't get anything. No, my family member, no, my friend got, okay? If we were going to announce the palliatives, there would have been some preparation for it. First of all, we don't have roads. Even when Governor Obaseki said he was going to bring up, but we were asking him, you can't go to Ekewa Road, you can't go to Upper Sapamba, you can't go to Ihama, you can't go anywhere in Benin because there's no road. So even if you bring buses, are they going to be air buses? Are they going to be flying in the air? That was a joke. Otherwise, the federal government and the state government would have a plan on how the palliatives would reach out to the people who truly need the palliatives. The palliatives is more like a welfare. It might not be for me because it's not affecting me as it's affecting other people. That's one. And then secondly, the other interesting part of it that you will know is administration. My question is that when Buhari was here with his failed administration, it was one way. Everything was Fulani in the appointment. What happened to the federal character? He's also repeating the same thing. Every juicy appointment that he has given so far, for example, the FRO FRO, where you get the transaction, FRIS is Yoruba man. The Nigeria Port Authority is Yoruba man. The Central Bank we just talked about now is Yoruba man. The Minister of Finance is Yoruba man. I can name about 85% of the appointments so far given by Asiwaju Tinubu have been. Are we living in Yoruba nation or are we living in Nigeria? For me, I am not satisfied with that. It don't matter if they are qualified. The question is that are there no other qualified people? For example, in this, are you coming to give us motor park? No, we're not taking motor. We also have doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers from Ishan, from Isako, from Edo. So giving everything to the Yoruba, I think we are not having this unity of purpose.
I'd like to get your thoughts on President
You know, this precedent was started, you know, the truth is, you cannot separate pregnancy from the baby you are going to give birth. The whole thing is beyond Tinubu. The truth is, maybe Tinubu would have been better. But for the fact there's a fundamental problem, there's what we call the economic policy, governmental policy of the APC. The APC, the All Progressive Congress, is a very hopeless political party and an entity. Yes, I made it bold to say, I don't expect anything more than what we'll see worse things than what we are seeing.
So
because
you don't feel that there can be good ones?
There cannot be. There is APC. If you are good, APC has a way of corrupting you. It has. You just have a. They have. You know, look at what is happening in Nigeria generally. Just look at from all sectors and look at it. Even the PDP that we're condemning, PDP did not do half of what this APC are doing. APC have thrown out everything they want to throw. They've compromised every single thing they want to compromise. And so I don't expect any other. The truth is about this whole thing is that no subsidy. But can you just remove subsidy without things on ground? Look at how people are suffering. Look at the suffering of people. I wonder how the ordinary people, I wonder how they are coping in these trying times. And ordinarily, if we're in a very organized country, this is the time for these our leaders to have a sober reflection on the way forward. So I think is if we are really serious, the planners, the handlers of Nigeria, they need to have a routine. They need to but the truth about this whole thing is we'll keep talking from now till tomorrow. It's the same people who are there that are there. So the first point of call is in all sincerity, it's like a consensus opinion. If we do a national confer, let everybody come and let's have a discussion on the way forward. Because we'll still be on this same topic. You will criticize this, you will criticize this, without nothing changing. So it's the same thing. Everybody, no, the funny thing is, now people are not crying. Even the people who are on the other political party, the PDP, the ANPP, now the subsidy in its own or another way now is not getting to them. And they are not shouting. The NPP in Kano are shouting. This one, PDP in Katsina, Idamawa, they are crying. The Labour in the East, so it's now time for the opposition. And this is what we were saying before the general election. This is not a singular. The battle for Nigeria's deliverance and redemption is not a personal battle. Everybody, stakeholder who are interested in the Nigerian project, we need to come together. The dollar, again, is going outrageously high. Why don't we look for persons who can man that place? It's not as if Emefiele, who's in the DSS custody, it's not as if he would have even done better than what when we know that he too is not a good person. And coming to the issue of as to Tinubu appointing Yoruba, I think Buhari in his whatever capacity started this nonsense, where he put all his brothers from the same ethnic group with him in sensitive positions. So honestly, I will not blame Tinubu. I think. Do
you think all of this has put some severe pressure on the administration in terms of the way they've been reacting to certain news? I'll give you two instances.
Yes.
There was the news of the lifting of the UAE visa ban on Nigerians, which turned out to not be as exactly as the presidency.
That was a joker.
Yeah. And then the second one was recently when President Tinubu was said to be the first African leader to raise the bell.
Wasn't true too.
Yes, and then he apologized and took it back. So, do you think there's a pressure to deliver that is leading to these gaffes?
No, there's not actually. The truth about leadership is naturally leadership comes with pressure. If you are put in a sensitive governmental position today, not as a civil servant, you have the pressure to work, wrongly or rightly. So it's not all offices, but the most important thing is how to manage it, if you get me. So I think, in all honesty, let me be very honest with you, in some aspects, I think this Tinubu's administration, there's a little bit sincerity other than the confused Buhari's administration. That one, they had no single plan. There was no roadmap. Their own was, let's just be managing these people. Managing these people. But Tinubu, but the question is, can we all start moving in that food that doesn't have fuel and engine is not working? So the most important thing is, what is driving this Tinubu administration is the APC. So you don't expect from the ordinary, don't expect a miracle. Nigerians should, that is the truth. They should sit up, they should button their belt. Yes, they should not expect a dramatic miracle till when we get it right. Till when we actually get it right through our elections. And this is the people we want. This is the person we have elected. And this is how we can go. And it might even be Tinubu in Labour Party who has won. He will deliver. But not Tinubu in Labour. I don't expect anything more than this I'm saying. All
right. Well, when you reference elections, it's good to hear, because the hope is that people are not disenfranchised, or they've not disenchanted, that's a better word, and feel like their votes don't count. Your vote will always count, and it is very important to make a difference. Well, Chief, I'd like to get your thoughts on what I mentioned before, that whole saga where the presidency seemed to get the news wrong on both counts, having to recount it. What do you think was going on there?
For me, please, can you remind me of that gentleman, the light fair complexion guy?
Mr. Ajuri.
Ajuri now, we thought Lai Mohammed was a liar, but Lai Mohammed was just learning. You understand? He was just learning. How would you come out, to tell us, on national television, to tell us that, President Tinubu was the first person, which would come out wasn't true. Otodola's daughter, the DJ, she was there before. President Goodluck Jonathan was there before, right? In that sensitive position, somebody who's a spokesperson to presidency, you would have expected they would do their due diligence and do a research before coming out with this very bogus statement to make us look very, uncivilized or uneducated. It's a shame. Don't forget that the same news that we are watching here, the foreigners from the West are also watching the same news. I think it's very painful, and I think if we are honest with ourselves, he should have resigned by now. That shows us or tells us the credibility of the government. You cannot, reward people with nepotism or favoritism, and that's where we are having the problem we are having. And also, too, we as people, we don't have a shame. We don't know when we make terrible mistakes and apologize and just resign. It's still there. The shameless person is still there. Tomorrow he's still going to bring out his shameless face to speak for the president, which is very, very bad for us as a nation. That's what I made of it. I think it's very wrong. I think the presidency is the highest that it can be in this country, and nobody can surpass that. So if you're going to have people, you must have credible people who can do what they call fact checks. Because I always say that if you cannot trust a messenger, you cannot trust his message.
Those are words to dwell on there. But I'd like to end on this note. You are both human rights activist, lawyer. So I've already spoken with Barrister Samuel on this. So I'd like to get your thoughts too. The issue of the singer, popularly known as Mohbad, who died under weird circumstances, and we're seeing investigations. We've even seen the House of Reps wade into the matter, trying to see how they can protect his music rights and royalties and so on and so forth. I'd like to get your thoughts as to that issue, and your thoughts on it generally, and how you think it can be done justice.
Generally, justice must be done. But we live in a country where you have people who are supposed to be the lawmakers, they become the lawbreakers. For example, when I discussed this issue with my lawyer, Inyeseka Jr., I went into deep investigations. I saw the PRO of police, Moyiwa, that's his name.
What's his name?
Moyiwa, right?
Yeah.
I saw him in a party with Sam.
One of the people.
Sam Larry, one of the suspects in this thing, right? Hanging out together. I'm not saying you can't hang out with people, but some terrible people that you know that are terrible in society, you don't hang with them because you are a public, very high public respected figure. And if you go back to some other thing that I discovered, after the NSAS, we also saw this same Sam Larry, Nemari, and others with Tinubu, our president, and the Lagos State governor. I can give you that video, I can give you the clip, because everything I say here, I'm responsible for it, right? You cannot see people like this being associated with powerful people. It means that they have the backing of these powerful people. I'm coming. Now, I get myself into necessary trouble. When this same Nene Mali, or when they were having COVID-19, he broke the rules and played in Abuja. I was the one that called him out and threw him out of the bus. That's who are you? If you are a celebrity, you're supposed to be a role model. Because then we were observing the COVID-19, keeping distance, social distance. But he went to a concert. I threw him out of the bus. When Burna Boy went to Cubana with his bodyguards, his police, as giving them, he admired a woman who was married, and the woman refused his advances. The police shot in the club, and some people collect some stray bullets. I was the one that called him out. Burna Boy would have get the second award. It was the hit that I put on the California, who gave him the first award. I said, this guy is not a role model. This award you give to him, you must take it back from him. That hit cost his second award that he's supposed to get. So sometimes these celebrities, they think they are God. They are not God. It's because we are not doing enough as police or as a country to put these people on check. Otherwise, what happened in death row in America is about to repeat itself in Nigeria. That linked the death of Tupac and Biggie. You remember those stories, okay? On death row. You know, because people have the right to say, okay, I want to be on your labor. They also have the right, okay, I'm not getting enough on your labor, I'm going to opt after your labor. Besides that, everything is going wrong here, government institution had a hand in it. Finally, how can NDLA, they can deny this if they want to, make Nene Mali, what is his name again? Nene Mali. How can you make him an ambassador when himself is a drug head? He's a user, all kinds, right? But he was their ambassador. I'm speaking to this on TV. They can sue me on this if I'm lying about it. So there's complicity with the government and these people. So if there's going to be a proper investigation to unveil those who really killed Mohbad, right? The police, some of them must be excused from being part of the investigating team, because some of them are very good friends to Sam Larry. Because if you allow these same people to be part of the investigation, you might not see the end of the death of this young man. It's unfortunate, and a lot of us try to emulate the Americans, do what the Americans are doing. But if you only know the destruction that the drug is causing them in America, especially in a place called San Francisco, you know that Nigeria is in trouble.
Oh, thank you for your thoughts there. Let's end with you, Ambassador Sam. We've spoken about this before, but there's been updates. You spoke about, I believe you brought up the issue of coroners and how...
Yeah, the coroner's law, yeah.
But since then, his body has been exhumed and an autopsy has been done. So what's your take this time?
I think the update for that is that I think I was in touch with my friend in Lagos, Festus Okun, who wrote to the Lagos State Judiciary, and they've written him back that the coroner will be done on Friday. I think the police have done their own. Probably the coroner inquest should be done. You know, I explained it extensively. I don't need to repeat what I've said under the Corona Law of Lagos. I think investigations are ongoing. But you know, because of my past experience, I think the inclusion of the DSS is also a welcome development. But they should speed up investigation, because Nigerians are actually raising eyebrows. They are calling for names, and speculations and are going as insinuations, and a whole lot of things are going on behind so that it doesn't snowball into another crisis. So I think the investigation should be swift, it should be independent, it should be detailed, and they should be fair and not to be induced and compromised. And because there are reasons to believe. I watched the statement of Naira Marley himself. He himself is even insinuating that Mohbad did not die from a natural cause. So that if he is saying, even because he is the primarily in the court of public opinion, he's the main suspect. So if he's saying that Mohbad did not die of a natural cause, then who actually killed Mohbad? That is the pertinent question. I think the investigative thing, Nigerians are yearning to know. This is one case that Nigerians are yearning to know the outcome of the investigation. They should be swift about it and let them give their report to Nigerians, that we can follow it up from there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Second Jr. Thank you so much, Chief Patrick.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you, yes.
That's all we'll take on the program for today. Don't forget, the POLITY reaches you live from Abuja every weekday, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Join us tomorrow for more analysis and discussions on politics, governance, and the state of the nation. Bye for now. I am Amadine Ogbewe.